This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome to Question Time. I'm Omkar Goswami. Born and educated in Patna, my guest has traveled many paths. A lecturer in political science, an IAS officer for 24 long years, a politician, twice the finance minister of India, in 1991 under Chandrasekhar and between 98 and 2002 under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, foreign minister from 2002 to 2004, author of a book called Confessions of a Swadeshi Reformer. Meet Yashwant Sinha, BJP MP from the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Sinha, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tell us about the last few months of the Chandrasekhar government in 1991, when we were down to 3 weeks of foreign exchange and we had to sell our gold in order to get the money not to default on our payments.
Well, I have described it as like the situation of a person who is tied hand and foot and thrown into the water to die or survive on his own. We had become a caretaker government when our government fell as a result of the withdrawal of the support of the Congress party. And therefore, during those months from March to June, when we were in office, we had none of the resources and devices which could help us get over that terrible, terrible crisis. The only option was to mortgage a bit of our gold to get something like $300–400 million in order to tide over that immediate crisis. I must say that we did it consciously, we did it in the interest of the country, and as I have said repeatedly when asked a question like you are asking today, that the country's honor was more important than a few tons of gold.
But what went through you? The fact that we had, for the first time, done this, and that bars of gold physically were loaded onto an Air India flight to be taken to London for $400 million. What went through your mind as a finance minister? What went through your mind as an Indian?
Well, I have referred to it in the book that you have just mentioned, and I have said that it was excruciatingly painful, and that day I decided that if ever I had a chance, I'll never let that happen to India again. And I'm glad to say that 7 years later, when I got the chance, the one major contribution that I made as Finance Minister of India to this country was to secure the Indian economy.
If you have to say, and I'm now talking about the period when you came in 98 as your second innings, and you were there till 2002, what were, in your mind, the key reform successes of the NDA government?
Many, many. But you see, we were faced with a very serious situation even 1998. And if I could take you back, we had the East Asian.
Take the readers back, because we've forgotten all of this.
It's so much in the past. The East Asian crisis was raging in our backyard, number one. Number two, we went for nuclear tests, as a result of which the most powerful countries in the world imposed economic sanctions on us. The world economy was on a downswing. Agriculture was a major issue because we did not have a normal monsoon during those years. Then we had other natural calamities. We had the dot-com bust. We had petroleum prices rising, the crude prices going up from $10 a barrel to $40 a barrel. So there were all kinds of problems that we faced during this time. But, as I said, for instance, to give you an example, when our foreign exchange reserves started depleting very fast, we went for resurgent India bonds. And that was a turning point, if I could say, in restoring confidence in the Indian economy. The other thing was that...
It was also, of course, at that time argued, and I say mea culpa, that the price that we paid to get that money in terms of the yields on the bonds were very high.
Yeah, but do you know this, that we ultimately ended up making money on the Resurgent India bonds and the Millennium Development bond?